Hello and welcome to today's AnthonyRailwayB video. Now I'm recording this because something came through the post today, and it wasn't this, whatever that is, and it wasn't some copper tape either. It was something quite a bit more special, and it came in this plastic bag. You know how I said that I was going to make my layout both digital and analog and be able to switch in between them? Well, in order to have it that way, I wanted to have a really nice, good quality DC controller. And so what I got is one of these. Now, they're normally around £30. Gauge Master controllers are normally around £40. This costed me off eBay £20. It is a Modelex Handheld controller. And before I start setting it up and wiring it to the layout, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the hardware. So first impressions, I was really impressed by this. This is a solid metal case. They haven't spared any expense on the quality of this thing. And also the movement in this, the resistance that you feel when you're moving this knob here. It's very good. It feels like a good quality controller. And also something else that I like. I don't think everyone would like this, but this has a little toggle switch to flick the directions on it. And it's not just a two-way toggle switch, it's a three-way one, so as well as flicking the direction, I can just cut off all the power to the track. And something else that I quite like, you've got two LEDs there, one to indicate output and one to indicate the overload. So overall first impressions that are really good. Now, here's the other thing that I'm really happy with. I wanted this to be a handheld controller, and so as I also ordered a couple more mono jack sockets to connect the controller to a point in the layout and just start powering it. Turns out I didn't need to do that because you see this cable here? It leads to this socket here. This is actually a plug and socket. DIN plug and socket, and which will not only transfer power from the controller to the track, but will actually transfer power from the mains through a transformer to the back here and into the controller. So I only have to plug the controller into one place, which is brilliant. What's even better is with these instructions, it tells me exactly where to solder everything, which is great. But yeah, first impressions over and done with. I'm going to solder this controller, solder this connection here to a part of the layout where I can just plug the controller in and then start everything running. Okay, so it turns out I don't have a drill bit that's big enough to make a hole that this will fit in by quite a lot. I'd have to do an awful lot of sanding. So, plan B, I thought I've got this big flat bit of foam on the side of the board. I thought maybe we could just cut out some holes with a Stanley knife. That was very easy. And then I can just push the parts in, and then I'll drill a hole under the board and have the wires going up to these parts here. You might be wondering how I get wires from underneath the baseboard, the gap there, through the void inside and out into where the fittings are going to be. Well, as you can see, what I've got there is a straw, and I send wires through the straw, but in order to actually send the straw through, I actually put a little kebab stick through that and use the pointy end to feed it through to the other hole, and then just leave the straw there and wire it up. So, it is a day later, I've done a couple of other things as well. You can see I'm dressed up smart, I've been out. But I've got all of the wires soldered to the socket and the switch, and to the outer track as well. So now I can actually test this controller and see how it performs and make sure that I have wired up everything correctly. So let's plug the controller in and give the train a whirl. So there we go. Look at that acceleration there. Have a close look at that. Now, I would not be able to do that with a Horby controller. This gives me so much control over the speed of these little pocket rockets. They normally shoot off, but I'm just driving it around nice and slowly, which is brilliant. I'm very pleased with that. It's very quiet as well. It was louder on the old layout. And there's the socket as well. You can see that switch is on loop 2. Let's slow it down, bring it to a halt. Lovely. Look at that. Now, the main reason I wanted to make part of my layout to DC and be able to switch it on and off is because I actually have some trains that are really difficult to convert to DCC. And one of them is this one. This is an old Hornby 00 that I inherited from a family friend. And let's see if it works. Yes, it does. Would you look at that? That train is over 50 years old, that one. And it's running on my new digital/DC layout. Can I slow it down and stop it in the camera view? Yes, I can. And our final test subject is the Bachmann Lord Nelson. Now this has split chassis, which makes them run absolutely wonderfully on DC, but makes them an absolute pain to convert to DCC. So instead of bothering to convert it to digital, I have just got this DC loop, and I'm happy with that. And that is the acceleration. I hope you don't mind the LMS coaches. I know it is a bit off for a Southern Railway loco. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you didn't find it boring, and hopefully this was useful for you as well. If you found it useful or interesting or anything like that, then please feel free to let me know. You're smart, you know how to do that. And yeah, I'm just going to solder this controller to the inner loop so I can power trains on the inner loop as well if I want. And I'll see you in the next video. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and bye!